it sits in the bucket of quality of life. And that's a common, what's the word I want to use? A common phrase, I guess you will, or pleasantries that you hear in public life. I mean, that goes from federal, state, down to the local level. Quality of life, especially you spit that a lot on the local level, especially for sure. And in that bucket are things like, Lakeland is, or I don't want the development. What they're saying is, I don't want to sit in my car too long. I'm sitting in traffic too long. I want to get to where I want to get to quicker. They're not saying they don't want growth, new people or growth. They're really saying what's behind that a lot of times is
it take too long to get to where I'm trying to go. I'm so sick of this traffic.
Right, yeah.
It's growing too fast because where these cars come from?
There you go.
And I can relate.
Yeah. So in that bucket of quality of life, how do you enhance the quality of life in that matter? Well, I think there's a couple things that come to mind in that space when we talk about reducing time in your car.
Yeah.
And that comes to mind with how do we design neighborhoods?
Right.
How do we work more closely with our planning team to design neighborhoods in an effective manner to where the things that we need are within a reasonable time frame to obtain them.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Can we access it through other modes of transportation, active modes of transportation, walking, biking, cycling, those sorts of things, skateboarding. I don't skateboard, by the way. Again, if you know anything about my athletic career, you would know that I'm probably not a great skateboarder. But takes some strength and coordination.
But you did a few beauty pageants.
No beauty pageant. No.
Okay.
Can you see this face? But in that bucket, how do we do that well? How do we plan well? How do we support the Complete Streets initiatives that's already on the books? How do we do that well? How can we do that well?
Right.
It also sits in the bucket, that quality of life bucket. Traffic in my car too long. How do we relieve things on our roadways?
Right.
In the main arteries that the vehicles are connecting through in our city. Hardin, 98, Florida. Well, there's something that's called the Wabash extension that's been sitting around for a little minute now. There's part of it that's been completed. How can we rev that up and prioritize, make that a big priority?
Wabash extension, what's that about?
So Wabash Avenue runs north and south. It can be another major artery in our grid system to move people north and south. What has been done so far is they have created a segment of that coming off of Kathleen Road, near where the Penske dealership is and the Fun Bike dealership is, up off Kathleen Road. You can come off of I-4, and instead of weaving yourself down Kathleen Road and down to Sykes, which becomes Hardin eventually, you can make that right where the Penske dealership is, and you can fast track all the way down to Ariana Street. Ariana then dead ends into some old woods. And if you ever go back there, look out. I've been back there a few times just to go back there. Sometimes you just gotta be curious. I go back to that statement I made earlier. I'm curious, Mom, about what he does.
Yeah.
So he can coach his daughter's team, have the impact that he's having in this community. I want to know about that. Be curious sometimes.
Yeah.
If you are, this is a sidebar, but if you're driving somewhere and you're used to driving some particular direction to get there, if you have a little bit window of time, which sometimes you and we don't have a lot of window of time when you're trying to get to one appointment to the next, but just in case you do, make a little right-hand turn or a left-hand turn sometimes.
At the Sky Power Sports.
Now, if you go and make all the way down on Wabash and you dead into Ariana, there is some little right-hand turns off of Ariana that you can take to get back into those woods, and you'll see a different Lakeland. I mean, it's like unpaved streets back there. It's potholes back there.
Yeah,
dogs that are, you know, you never seen these breeds of dogs probably chasing the car down. It's interesting back in there.
It's interesting.
Yeah, man. But anyway, that Wabash Avenue has the potential to be driven through there,
right,
and connecting all the way down past Lakeside Village, to where we can then draw traffic north and south and get you all the way out to I-4.
Oh God, what a relief!
Right. So
what a relief! I just felt my whole body just felt calm and at ease when you said that, because what would you have done with the road diet, knowing what we know now? How we doing? What's going on, people? Welcome to the show. I'm happy to be here with a very special guest. I just happen to be a friend of mine, Mr. Troutman.
Show you, Ryan.
If you don't know him, that's a surprise. It's probably because you're not from Lakeland, but it's an honor for me to introduce him. The brother has served on the Salvation Army. He served as a chairman for the sales tax, Polk County sales tax chair. He's served on Lighthouse Ministries, served with the Polk State College Board of Trustees, and about 100 other boards and committees I can't even pronounce. There might be a little bit hyperbole there, but you get the picture. I met him because somebody in the community said, "Hey, this is Mr. Troutman. He has an insurance business, and he's been doing insurance for quite a while, and married with kids, and it's just been a good friend." And I'm really excited to have an opportunity to interview him as a potential candidate. I was running for office for City Commission.
Show you right.
And so we're just going to have a natural dialogue, just kind of pick Ashley's brain and get an idea of what he plans to bring to the table for the city of Lakeland. Mr. Troutman, thank you for taking the time to be a part of the show.
Hey, Daryl, man, thank you for allowing the opportunity for me to be here with you. Again, I applaud you for what you're doing here on your podcast. I think that it is spectacular that you've taken that initiative. As I was stating earlier, I compliment you for having the tenacity to see it through and take on something that's new and maybe not a part of your direct role as a realtor and real estate professional, but it can help advance your cause and shed some light on some cool things that's happening. So again, my hat's off to you. I applaud you for taking that leap.
Well, I appreciate you acknowledging that, because you too, as a businessman, recognize that marketing is important. And you've been around a lot of forms of marketing over the years. How long have you been in insurance?
So I've been in the financial services industry for close to 20 years now. Mm-hmm. I started in 2006 when I began working for Galfields at his Allstate Insurance Agency in downtown Lakeland. Again, as Daryl stated earlier, if you are a longtime Lakelander, you would recognize that name, Galfields. I count him as one of the mentors I've had over the years, but worked for him in February 1st, 2006 is when I started at his agency.
Is that how you got into politics?
Oh, man, good question. He definitely, because of the close proximity to him and working in that agency, it definitely did kind of paint a picture, if you will. Yeah. But I wouldn't say that it's the only genesis of what eventually arrived. But it certainly played a huge role in how I have chosen to serve, and I have chosen to continue on in the path. One reason I say that is because before working for him, starting in February 1st, 2006, I actually went to his office on May 9th of 2005 and sat down and had a conversation with him about getting into the business.
Yeah.
And that started as a point of curiosity. I remember sitting across from him on an opposing sideline. I was a community coach at George Jenkins High School, where I graduated from, but my niece was playing basketball for one of my old coaches, Terrence Cobb at the time, at Jenkins, and the opposing sideline was Kathleen High School, and Gal Fields was on that opposing sideline coaching his daughter, Jasmine, at the time, and I had just graduated from college around that time, and I went home because I was living with my mom, and I said, you know what, I'm curious, what does he do?
Yeah,
because I knew of him at the time, and I was like, what does he do to where he could coach his daughter's basketball team?
Right.
That was cool because I had gotten into coaching a little bit at the time, and I remember going on a job interview with a car dealership in the area, and they were like, "Yeah, actually, you can't do any of that stuff if you work with us. You can't be. You got to be here." So I'm like, "Yeah, I like know what he does. He get to do that." So she was like, "Well, go talk to him."
Yeah.
So I called the office and took that curiosity led to me asking her that question, then gave me that answer. My mom has always been one of those ones, go find the answer, right?
Right.
Go look it up. Hey, Mom, what does that word mean? Go look it up. We stopped asking her what words meant because we didn't want to go look it up. But so that was her go look it up type of statement. Well, you should go ask him. Well, okay, well, I did.
Yeah.
Called the office. He was gracious enough, set aside some time. May 9th, 2005, I had a list of questions. I still refer back to this piece of paper that I keep with me. It's in one of my writing journals. Whenever the business gets difficult or when I'm uncertain about why I've chosen the path that I've chosen or whatnot.
Yeah. And
I look back at that document from May 9th, 2005, where I wrote all my notes on it to the answers that he gave me. I'm like, all right. Let's knuckle up and let's go again.
Yeah.
Let's keep going.
And you started working with him at this point too, right?
So that was just the interview of, hey, what is this business like? How do you get in it? How do you get started? And one thing led to another. I'll condense the story a little bit. I won't talk bad about one of the other local employers that I typically tell the story and then twist them in a bad light. And I don't want to do that at this point. But one thing led to another, and he offered me a job in his office later on in that year, like around November, December. He and I ran into each other at a community meeting where he was leading and talking about city issues. Yeah. At the Colvin Bush building one night, and he came up to me and, hey, you still thinking about getting into the business? I said, yeah, I wouldn't mind checking it, trying to get in. Yeah. And so again, one thing led to another, and February 1st, 2006, I started working for him. Yep. And I stayed there for about 6.5 years, I believe it was. And I worked for him.
And so, what came before? What came first? Yeah, like inspiration to serve politically, or like your business. Understanding how as a self-employed person wanting to make an impression in the community. Like where did your heart find its passion first?
Yeah, I mean, I think if I go all the way back to where some of those thoughts start to germinate, I write about this in the Lakelander a little bit. I would sit at my mother's feet, not literally, but in a way figuratively, and would ask questions of her because my mom worked 27 years for Lakeland Electric as to why things are how they are. Right. And why wasn't it like this anymore or like that anymore historically? And she would say people simply no longer cared, right? And that's why I wrote this one poem that I'm sometimes known to deliver called "What Do You Care?" And but from those type of conversations, it created a sense of caring about the surroundings and the things that you are witness to and privy to. And from that sense of caring, it created a desire to find a way to shape things, make things better, improve upon things in your own unique way.
Yeah.
Again, we're talking about middle school type time frame right now, high school or whatnot.
Can we put a time frame on it? What year is this we talking about?
Man, I can't tell y'all that.
We need to go back.
I'm old. I'm getting old now. Man. I want to feel like I'm your age still. You know? No, but this was like...
The point is you've been serving for a while.
Yeah. This is probably like in... Oh, man. This when I say middle school, high school time frame, I was in middle school in like the mid 90s, early 90s, like 94, 93, 95, somewhere all up in there somewhere. And so then that led to the idea of, well, I'll then also say I've also always had a desire to find some kind of path in business. Mm-hmm. I didn't always know exactly what that was, but in my mind as a high schooler, I would think about, being in business, in some capacity, whether, having that corner office or those sorts of, that sort of thing. But then of course, all those things lead to this idea of if we are ever to become what we can become, it's necessary for people that have skills and abilities and talent and vision to remain in place and not go.
Right.
Because I'm in high school. I'm pretty sure it still, in some ways, it does that to this day.
So that hit you that early in life?
Yeah.
It was that important to you that early in life. You recognize that. So for me growing up, absolutely. I heard old adages, if you want to make something of yourself, you got to get out of Lakeland.
Exactly. Yeah,
and you saw it differently.
Yeah, you got if it's ever to become what it can be, you got to have stableness. I think I also had a sense of that when, my nephews are close to your age. Mm-hmm. I think they're like right with you. I think they're bookends to you. I believe one is like a year ahead of you, and one is another year ahead behind you or whatnot. I think that's how it goes. I remember a sense of, and again, I'm not saying that I'm some type of like I was their dad or anything like that, because I wasn't. I mean, I'm young, but I remember having a sense of duty and a sense of being present and available even for them.
Right.
When my sister and their dad had kind of a part in their relationship, I remember kind of having a sense, like, man, I got to be around. I got to be an example of some sort. Mm-hmm. Again, not trying to say I was their dad and I did this and I provided for them. No, I'm not saying that at all.
You just want to be a good example.
Yeah. Just be part of the mix of somebody
and we needed
that can be seen and available.
If I could go back, like you said, I'm slightly younger than you. But if I can go back to my early years, looking for those examples, they were athletes, and they weren't home. They were, if they were anything professional growing up on Providence Road, it was almost out of touch. Mm-hmm. And those examples weren't readily reachable. Yeah. And, I think, we had... Galfields came along a little while after that, but we didn't have a whole lot to reach up to and say, hey, this is a good example. This is what it looks like. And this is what affluence can be and is. Mm-hmm. And is it obtainable as representation and as someone I know that is reachable, I can communicate with, and they can communicate with me and say, hey, look, guide me. And so that was kind of a unique circumstance that, you committed to early on and say, hey, you know what? Hey, we in this city and I want to be a good example for my nephews and I want to show what representation is. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I took on, talking about service, my initial, official, I guess, soiree into serving was when I decided in my senior year in college to then coach youth league basketball at Simpson Park. I mean, and if anybody knows me in my athletic career,
you was hooping at George Jenkins,
right? Yes, I attempted. I was on the team, and I got the water. I was a great bench player, right? Getting the water, getting the team inspired before the game.
Yeah.
You guys, you lead all the chants coming out the tunnel.
Yeah. Hype,
and ready to go.
Yeah.
Getting that layup line. We go through that layup line and almost dunking in the layup line.
Would you say almost?
Almost dunking in the layup line. Looking good in the layup line.
But hey,
slap the backboard.
Yeah, slapping it.
When you lay it up and then you go sit down.
Yeah.
Go sit down. You finna play.
Yeah. But you stay committed.
Yeah, right.
One thing about Troutman, hey, up or down or sideways, we gonna commit, baby. We in it, man.
We in it, man. Where we going? We going that way. You going with me? Yeah, let's go. All right.
No matter how pretty or how ugly it is.
It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be rocky. Where we going?
We going this way.
We gonna get there, man.
That's awesome.
So yeah, if you know anything about my athletic career, I was not a star.
Yeah.
At all, man. At all. But knowing that and knowing I could only go so far with my athletic abilities, I'll in my mind again, serving, giving.
Yeah.
What am I going to do with what I know?
Yeah.
I got to give it away.
Right.
I can't do anything with it. I mean, it's fun to go pick up basketball and things like that, but really, so what?
Right.
But I can share what I know with somebody else, and then I want to build a connection, relationship with my niece, Ashley Troutman. At the time, my brother, my awesome. oldest brother, was raised out of the house with us. That was one of my. I remember as a kid having that kind of a dream of, what if one day me and my twin brother and my sisters, Monica and Tammy, what if we all were in the same house with Vic as well, my oldest brother, and we all lived together or whatnot? How cool would that be? But when I got a chance to come of age and start building my own relationships outside of what my parents directed, that was one of the relationships I wanted to build. And so, again, I can't use basketball anymore, but I can share it. I can give it away. I can build a relationship with my niece as well. Sound like a winner to me. Let's go do it. Let's go coach some basketball. So that's what I did down at Simpson Park, senior year in college. I didn't need to do that. Stocking shelves up until about 30, 35 hours a week at Publix, Oak Ridge, sometimes 38. Leaving Lakeland to go to Tampa for USF classes at 6:30 in the morning, get there for the 8 o'clock class, go to class, leave Tampa, go back to work at 3.
All right. Shout out USF Bulls.
USF Bulls. Go Bulls, baby. Give it away and try to serve in that capacity. So service in some capacity has always been around, is all I'm saying.
And the core of it, which is is the part that's not pretty, is that commitment. And the commitment, one, you care. And the beautiful story that you just painted. And that's something that is undervalued. And I think that really needs to be pointed out, like authentically. And it shows in the community. The connections that you make, the families that you know and know you, is because you took the time to get to know the community and their needs. And truly got a chance to do that. And I think that's something that's very important, that a candidate is truly a heart for what the people need and what they want to hear. I mean, what they need and what their needs are.
Yeah.
And speaking of, with your campaign, what do you feel that Lakeland has missed the ball on? What do you feel Lakeland needs to address, but we just haven't really addressed? In terms of, our community, big community complaints. What are some of the things you're really hearing out there while you're out there campaigning that Lakeland hasn't done a great job at addressing it?
Yeah, great question. Thank you for the question. some of the things that come to mind are related to it sits in the bucket of quality of life. And that's a common, what's the word I want to use? A common phrase, I guess you will, or pleasantries that you hear in public life. I mean, that goes from federal, state, down to the local level. Quality of life, especially you spit that a lot on the local level, especially for sure. And in that bucket are things like, Lakeland is, or I don't want the development. What they're saying is, I don't want to sit in my car too long. I'm sitting in traffic too long. I want to get to where I want to get to quicker. They're not saying they don't want
growth,
new people or growth. They're really saying what's behind that a lot of times is
it take too long to get to where I'm trying to go. I'm so sick of this traffic.
Right, yeah.
It's growing too fast because where these cars come from?
There you go.
And I can relate.
Yeah. So in that bucket of quality of life, how do you enhance the quality of life in that matter? Well, I think there's a couple things that come to mind in that space when we talk about reducing time in your car.
Yeah.
And that comes to mind with how do we design neighborhoods?
Right.
How do we work more closely with our planning department, planning team to design neighborhoods in an effective manner to where the things that we need are within a reasonable time frame to obtain them.
Yeah.
10 minutes. Can we access it through other modes of transportation, active modes of transportation, walking, biking, cycling, those sorts of things, skateboarding. I don't skateboard, by the way. Again, if you know anything about my athletic career, you would know that I'm probably not a great skateboarder. But take some strength and coordination.
But you did a few beauty pageants.
No beauty pageant. No.
Oh, okay.
Can you see this face? But in that bucket, how do we do that well? How do we plan well? How do we support the Complete Streets initiatives that are already on the books? How do we do that well? How can we do that well?
Right.
It also sits in the bucket, that quality of life bucket, traffic, in my car too long. How do we relieve things on our roadways?
Right.
In the main arteries that the vehicles are connecting through in our city. Hardin, 98, Florida, where there's something that's called the Wabash extension that's been sitting around for a little minute now. There's part of it that's been completed. How can we rev that up and prioritize, make that a big priority to
Wabash
get
extension, what's that about?
So Wabash Avenue runs north and south. It can be another major artery in our grid system to move people north and south. What has been done so far is they have created a segment of that coming off of Kathleen Road, near where the Penske dealership is and the Fun Bike dealership is, up off Kathleen Road. You can come off of I-4, and instead of weaving yourself down Kathleen Road and down to Sykes, which becomes Hardin eventually, you can make that right where the Penske dealership is, and you can fast track all the way down to Ariana Street. Ariana then dead ends into some old woods. And if you ever go back there, look out. I've been back there a few times just to go back there. Sometimes you just got to be curious. I go back to that statement I made earlier. I'm curious, Mom, about what he does. Yeah. So he can coach his daughter's team, have the impact that he's having in this community. I want to know about that. Be curious sometimes. Yeah. If you are, this is a little sidebar, but if you're driving somewhere and you're used to driving some particular direction to get there. Yeah. If you have a little bit window of time, which sometimes you and we don't have a lot of window of time when you're trying to get to one appointment to the next, but just in case you do, make a little right-hand turn or a left-hand turn sometimes.
At the Sky Power Sports.
Now, if you go Now, if you go and make all the way down on Wabash and you dead into Ariana, there is some little right-hand turns off of Ariana that you can take to get back into those woods, and you will see a different Lakeland. I mean, it's like unpaved streets back there. It's potholes back there.
Yeah,
dogs that are, you never seen these breeds of dogs probably chasing the car down. It's interesting back in there.
It's interesting.
Yeah, man. But anyway, that Wabash Avenue has the potential to be driven through there.
Right.
And connecting all the way down past Lakeside Village to where we can then draw traffic north and south and get you all the way out to I-4.
Oh, God. What a relief.
Right? So
what a relief. I just felt my whole body just felt calm and at ease when you said that. Because what would you have done with the road diet knowing what we know now?
Yeah, man.
Addressing that situation.
The road diet was an attempt to address the concerns that were being presented by the businesses and the residents of Dixieland.
Yeah.
Right? We have to, one of my things I say in there is a promise. I don't make a lot of promises, but one of the things I can promise to constituents is the same thing I promise to my wife, my children, and my clients, that I'll be accountable, transparent, diligent, and responsive, and available. Well, through that process of being not transparent, but available and diligent people, they were responding to that request. How do we create a safer corridor?
Yeah.
Right. But then they went further by doing some city visits, and they ventured over to College Park in Orlando, the Edgewater area, College Park, Edgewater area in Orlando. And they saw how nicely that thoroughway was with walking, merchants. There's a Publix over there. There's some good little shopping that goes on there, some restaurants. It's a cool area. I've been over there myself as well before. The difference, however, is that
they got Edgewater actual restaurants and people walking up and down those.
But also Edgewater is not a main artery of the city of Orlando.
Bingo. It's a side road.
Two things happened there. Again, I applaud the group from the staff level to the commission for trying to be responsive. But we can't always compare. It wasn't a true apples to apples comparison.
Right.
The second thing that I believe was made somewhat in error is observing how individuals access those businesses that are along that thoroughway.
Yeah.
Most of the people that access
was cars.
Concord Coffee or Born and Bred is an exception, but there's some adjustment that could be made there as well. But Concord Coffee and most of those businesses along that part of Florida Avenue is on the backside.
Correct.
Of the buildings.
And they were coming from the Dixieland neighborhood area.
Yeah, they come from the backside of those neighborhoods and access the businesses from the back.
Correct.
So to slow down traffic because there's concerns for access of businesses from the front.
Right.
It's not, again, I don't think that was the...
And like you said, Born and Bred is the only one where you see the line coming around the front of the building.
Yeah. But I'm sure Jennifer would have easily oriented her business to the back side of the business because people still come through. They park in the back.
Correct.
And then they come around the front.
Correct.
But I'm sure there could be some chance of changing that a little bit. But anyway, that definitely has been created some frustrations for folks. I don't think the state was as transparent with their process as what we wanted, what they could have been, or should have been.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not at the table to try to know all the what ins and what nots that happened with that, but there was definitely we felt we fell short in the transparency categories. Because when you say it's a test, but then you start laying down concrete blocks on the ground, is it really a test?
Well,
that's the first thing I know is when we got into it early on.
It seems that
why are we putting these concrete blocks down?
They
just put some
permanently
cones
modify
up.
the road. I mean, that's a really expensive thing to come back from now.
Why don't we just put some cones up?
And who pays for the change of the road? Does the city pay for it? Does the state participate?
Bombs, barricades could have been put up. Whatever that's on the highway. Put some bombs, barricades up.
That's it.
We can test this out.
Maybe we're thinking about the aesthetics. But there still could have been some other lesser permanent modification that we could have done to test
it out. Test it out.
And now we have a situation where there's a lot of congestion on South Florida. There's a lot of congestion coming down Bartow, a lot of congestion coming down Hart. It's just a lot of confusion. And hopefully this Wabash situation helps alleviate that. And you want to make sure we address that.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about some concerns with ADA. We talked about some concerns with, hey, how can the government get involved with technology and maybe address traffic, which I thought was unique.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, in that bucket of quality of life, you have concerns for some folks around the ability to access the fullness of the city.
Yeah.
And had a wonderful conversation with a young lady that I grew up in. I say I grew up in church with. I grew up in this church where she also grew up, but we're not in the same age group, I would say. Mm-hmm. Right. So I'll say that. But she was a cheerleader at Lakeland High School, involved in the youth department and choir and things like that. And I believe she told me at the age of 42, she started experiencing issues with her eyesight and discovered that there was a hereditary disease a trait that went with the females of her family that eventually caught her. Yeah. And so now she is legally blind. But she has a wonderful story of overcoming. It's very inspirational. It's hopeful in many ways, and it shows you the power of the human spirit in her story, where she is still working full time in Polk County schools. But she said, Ashley, Lakeland needs to become an audible city. Well, what does that mean? An audible city? I don't know what that means.
Right.
Teach me. Share with me.
Hey, that's that inquisitive spirit.
Absolutely. Curiosity.
Yeah.
And so she shared with me what it means to be an audible city. And there's some simple things that can be done and hopefully advanced to allow that to happen. I mean, simple things like go to a crosswalk section. You got the countdown that happens 36, 34, 33, 10, 9. That's great if you can see.
Right.
If you can't see.
Yeah.
Don't help you. Yeah. So she says, you can simply put something in there that says, you are free to walk.
Simple solution. Mind blown. Yeah.
I don't seem too difficult to ask. I think we should be able to do that. I'm sure there's some money available in the budget to make sure we have some audible things happening at crosswalks, right? Or she talked about going to the library and accessing the book. I'm one of those people that have been stubborn to come around to this idea of reading books audibly. I always felt like I'm just cheating. I'm not really reading. Some people say, I read 200 books this year. They all audible books. You ain't really reading. No book. But a friend of mine, a guy named Scott Turville, he is he is a student. That guy is always taking some type of class, a college course, works at Lighthouse Ministries. He helped me to come to feeling okay with Audible books by saying, Ashley, you know, when you read into yourself and you following the words on the page, there's something in your brain that that becomes activated, that you then see what's happening in your brain as you read those words on the page.
Right.
He said, listening to Audible books, it engages that same function, and you can see things happening in your brain as you listen to the stories recorded on the Audible books. I said, you know what? You're right. It does do that.
Right.
I can see that. Yeah. So I'm more and more accepting of Audible books, but we see it from a convenience standpoint when we can see.
Right.
This lady and people that are like her can't see.
Right.
It's not a necessity.
Right.
I mean, it's not a convenience thing. It's a necessity thing.
Right.
So if I'm going to fully participate in the fullness of this city, I need to be able to check out Audible books.
Right.
Go to the library. There's Audible books. Well, why can't you check them out? Well, I can't see. But if you put Braille on the edges of the Audible books, I can then know what this story is, and I can check it out.
Simple solutions.
Simple solutions.
It's very inexpensive. Just little Braille. I know what book I'm reading.
I know I'm checking out the Audible book.
Now I know what book, audiobook to check out. Otherwise, how am I going to check out the audiobook?
Check out the Audible book.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, simple. Quality of life. Enhancing the quality of life.
Yeah.
Even for folks that can't see, can be accomplished from this, from a role like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some things that when you say, what haven't we done? Becoming an audible city, enhancing the quality of life in that aspect, enhancing the quality of life from the aspect of the time we spend in our car. Those type of things is what comes to mind when we say things that can be done a little bit better. And last thing I'll say from what can be done a little bit better is our attitude for the sense of duty for customer service.
Now we're talking.
You and I know as business people that every transaction matters.
Yeah, it's your reputation.
Every transaction matters.
Yeah.
And the more you compound good transactions, the more people
to come back.
Right. The more they come back, the more they want to do business with you.
Correct. That's your brand. Well,
we don't always, as a city, get a great brand from a customer service standpoint. We don't get a great reputation always. And leaning in, even though as commissioners you don't have direct control or influence over departments, but hopefully if we can collectively sing from that same songbook that we value and want the attitude of customer service to improve, we can change the quality of life of this community as well by having folks that want to do business in the city of Lakeland. Great story I'll give you is the gentleman that owns the Garden Bistro here in Lakeland. He shared with me how he gave us a particular department of the city his schedule for when his restaurant was on and when his restaurant was off.
Yeah.
They needed to pave the parking lot at the Magnolia building where the restaurant sits under. You know where I'm off, you know where I'm on. Customer service says, let's figure out a way to coordinate when you're off. But if we not customer service focused, we just do it at any time.
Yeah.
Even when you're at your peak of your customer.
Right.
Again, I'm not finger pointing. I don't know all that ears to say about that story, but that's, again, just a little small window into...
Are we thinking about who we're serving?
Are we? Yes, exactly.
At the end of the day. And that's a very simple, intentional pivot that could be. I won't say simple. It's simple, but not easy.
Right. Yeah. Certainly. Right. Nothing's easy, as they say. If it were easy, everybody would do it.
Yeah. But if it's a conscious effort, say, hey, look, let's pay attention to customer service and how can we do that?
Pay attention to this little detail right here. How are we serving properly in this space? I've through my work, I probably have sat down and assisted 1,000 households over my time in business.
Yeah.
Probably. Maybe. Somewhere in there, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
And the advantage of that is that you get to hear people talk about all kind of things. You know it being going through when you
presentation with
when
real
you
estate.
marry a family to get it through a real estate deal. It's very similar, I'm sure.
Yeah.
One guy was meeting with recently that I was introduced to from another client, owns a successful business in the eastern part of the county. I'm not going to say what city, but he's in the hospitality, food-ish business. I'll say that.
Yeah.
This guy actually lives in Lakeland. He started his business in the east side of the county. Again, I'm a Polk Countyan. I love going through all of Polk County. I like going down to Lake Wales and go to the little Crazy Fish on 60. Yeah, great restaurant, Crazy Fish. I think it's still there.
On 60 in Lake Wales?
In Lake Wales, Highway 60.
By the bait shop?
Probably. Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. I haven't eaten there. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah. Like going there and like going over to Winter Haven, I should say, not Winter, but Winter Haven, and going to the Ave bar and get a little pizza.
Downtown.
One of my early dates with my wife when we were getting to know each other. She was living in Winter Haven.
Winter Haven's really came a long way.
Oh, yeah.
With their food.
I got a chance to spend maybe half a day with Bruce Lyons recently, and just touring some of the things that they've done over there in Winter Haven. It's pretty cool. But anyway, I'm saying that to say I'm a Polk Countyan.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate all that these other communities and cities offer as a collective. But this guy lives in Lakeland, and he started his business in the east side of the county. That was a loss for Lakeland.
Yeah.
It's a gain for the county. When I go to the other part of the county where his business is, I stop in there. We sit in and partake. But the loss came because the reputation was that other community was going to be more supportive
of his business
and through his business. And when I say supportive, I'm not talking about he's going to get all the customers, he's going to make all the money. No, I'm talking about how does staff engage with these people as they go through the process of building out and offering their services and their business to the community. That attitude permeates. And if we have that attitude of wanting to be...
I can tell you right now what you're saying is absolutely fact, because there's been a lot of businesses that have wanted to start and or started the concept of getting a business going and have said, we could be better in those areas.
Yeah.
And that's about the minimum of that expression.
Yeah. Absolutely. So quality of life gets its hands. You get this unique asset, this unique experience in this community. And when you have those things, you get folks, you get the brain drain somewhat subsides because people tend to want to find a place that's cool to live, and then they find jobs within that space. So you can impact those things when you have that type of an attitude.
So you got a cool environment.
Yeah.
You don't feel congested with traffic.
Yep.
Now you feel like, you know what? This is a good place to call home.
Yeah.
Bringing businesses.
Sure, you're
Not
right.
to bring national politics into this. Just
politics,
acknowledge
it's
this.
all good.
We're in the middle of a government shutdown.
Mm-hmm.
Funds are being tied up at the top. It's going to trickle down to the states, and it trickles down to municipalities to an extent. At least the concern for people is when our government, municipalities are constricted with finances and resources, what is the commission's priority? What is your priority if you get in his office seat and we're faced with a challenge such as that? What do you prioritize when the budget is constricted?
Sure. This is where I become boring. I don't become aspirational and big picture visioning in this space. I become nuts and bolts.
Right.
I become
man.
Right. I become the fiduciary, if you will.
Yes.
And in my life as a financial advisor, whenever the budget is limited so that you can't do those things that are cool, hip, and sexy.
Yeah.
You just got to make sure that you are doing the brass tacks of the plan well.
Right.
And I get a lot of people that sometimes I met with a prospects at some point in the last few weeks, and there was a particular couple where they got excited about the big picture and where they wanted to go.
Right.
But then when we started talking about the balance sheet, what's in cash, what's the cash flow like right now, the conversation shifted to the foundation, the brass tacks of it. Well, based on where you are and what you want to do, what you can do right now is just buy some term insurance, save some cash, pay down some debt.
There it is.
And also we got to protect some more of your income. That's the foundation. Let's do that well. And well, what about someone's? This is the budget. These are the priorities, but this is all we can do right now.
Right.
Let's do this well.
Right.
And so that's the approach I would take in that setting as well. The foundation of any government, federal, state, or local, is to protect its people.
Yes.
That's why cities were so important years and years ago, before nations had these secure and defined borders. The cities were the one that encapsulated the people, and they protected them at the walls or whatnot.
Yeah.
Right? As we advanced and became nation states, the borders became more defined, things like that. The federal government's number one job, priority, is to secure that border. It's to provide for the defense of the nations from foreign threats. We all play a part in that in small ways as well, by the way. I can talk more about that if you want at some point, but same thing with states. States had a position in that. The Coast Guards and places like that. Cities do that with police and fire.
Right.
Got to make sure that the foundation is the foundation, and that the foundation is being handled well in those type of setting.
Police, fire, emergency, hospitals.
Emergency, exactly.
Yeah.
Got to make sure that the lights can come on.
Right.
Can we still do that well? Get the trash picked up. Right. Those are the things that we, as now, even with a shutdown going on, continuing into whatever day we on, maybe day 27 or 28 that we on, those things are still happening. Yeah. Those things are still happening in municipalities, not just in Lakeland, but throughout a lot of the county and the state and the country.
So your approach isn't like, what can we cut? Your approach is, what do we prioritize? Like, let's prioritize safety. Let's prioritize making sure our police officers, make sure our fire department can run, make sure we have utilities.
Yeah.
Make sure we have the true essentials of the community covered first. Right.
And then there's always opportunity to find cuts.
Right.
That can happen. You often do that in tandem.
Mm-hmm.
As you are a married guy, I'm sure you coming down and saying, hey, you got to cut this.
Yeah.
Sits differently from if the person under you, I probably sound like, for some people, like a what they call that, chauvinistic male.
Misogynistic.
Yeah. But in my worldview, the covering is with the man and that wife under him. But I'm sure it sets different if she comes to you and says, here's what I want to cut. Right?
Right.
This is what I found as an opportunity to cut. So you do that in tandem.
Right.
We know we have to cut. What can we cut?
Right.
Departments, what can you offer us as a recommendation on what you're trying to cut? And then you can always, have conversation and dialogue around that at that point. But again, from the bottom up is where some of that stuff is going to happen as well, from those people that had that perspective that they bring to the table. But yeah, that's also why it's also why organizations have to be careful of how much they depend on what Congress giveth. Yeah. Because what Congress giveth, Congress can taketh away.
Every time.
Right. That's with our schools.
Yes.
I know we don't make school policy, but that's with our schools. That's with municipal government. That's with, I'm on the board of trustees, state colleges.
Yeah.
That's with nonprofits. There are nonprofits that can be ravaged.
Yeah.
By government funds being cut.
Yeah.
As a fiduciary on nonprofits, Lighthouse in particular, we have it as a hallmark almost that government funding is not where we want the bulk of that revenue to come from. And in fact, I would say 99.9% of Lighthouse's budget does not come from government tied funds.
Private donors.
It's private donors and money that's generated from its own enterprise funds, if you will, for Lighthouse, and that's the thrift stores that it operates.
Oh wow, didn't know that.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah, that's what funds a lot of the operations of that organization. So, but again, if you get too comfortable with that money, Congress giveth, Congress can take it away. So it's prudent. It's prudent for organizations to behave in that manner.
Yeah. In that spirit of Lakeland, we've done a great job in owning our own utilities and being, prudent entrepreneurs, if you will, or responsible parties of making sure that we are able to take care of our own citizens without necessarily a lot of government assistance. For the future of Lakeland, there's a lot of talks on the table as Lakeland should maybe take on some other ventures, maybe investing in utilities, etc. What are your thoughts on the future of Lakeland as far as, that's concerned, especially since we no longer have that contract with Lakeland Regional?
Yeah. Not you, but this is probably a space where I become boring again.
Mm-hmm.
Because although Lakeland is a full service, Lakeland is already considered a full service city.
Yeah.
Meaning that it operates the majority of the services, as you stated, that a municipality would tend to have an influence in delivering.
Correct.
Or that residents would want to see delivered in some way.
Mm-hmm.
City of Lakeland is a full service city. The number of employees on Lakeland Electric's, not Lakeland Electric, but the City of Lakeland's payroll is larger or the same size. I forget the actual number here. Larger or the same size as the city of Tampa.
Wow.
Because of the number of operations that it operates. Now, so I say that to then say, in this environment, however, I would be cautious or very cautious to take on any more services that is owned or operated by the municipality.
Okay.
In the space that we're in now.
Okay.
Now, the city of Clearwater is in the process of actually entertaining, adding to their capacity of services by coming from up under their contract with, I believe, Duke it is, that they're with, or FP&L, one of those organizations, and creating their own service or operation of their own utility service in Clearwater. They're taking that on. Now, again, I'm not saying they're going to actually do it, but they are studying. They're studying the feasibility of it. But because Lakeland is already considered full service, I wouldn't want to see the city take on any other services at this point. I'm one of those ones that would want the city to be nimble enough to get out of situations that it may no longer be advantageous to be in. Case in point, Lakeland Regional, you brought that up.
Yep.
Lakeland Regional, as many people may not always know this. I mean, I didn't always know it.
Mm-hmm.
It was a city hospital. It was ran by the city of Lakeland. Lakeland Regional is now ran independently of the city.
Right. Private now.
Private. Lakeland Regional had a part of that agreement was for the Lakeland Regional to pay a lease to the city.
City land lease.
Land lease. It was
120-year land lease.
Helpful with budget revenues. It created there's another revenue source.
Right.
Right. But then the unforeseen happens.
Mm-hmm.
I talk about that in my business to clients. We want to prepare you for the unforeseen. We call it the unforeseen because we don't know what is going to happen and when it's going to happen. But if it does happen, we want to be prepared. We want to hedge against the unforeseen. Some things you can plan for, some things you really can't. But anyway, the unforeseen happens with Lakeland Regional's case. What's the unforeseen? Well, in the state of Florida, there was something that was called the Certificate of Need policy that the state operated under for years. I mean, years, decades, that said that that almost like a petition had to be signed off on for a entity to create a new hospital in an area. If they didn't meet certain metrics, they didn't get awarded the opportunity to build the hospital in that area. Well, the certificate of need got lifted. Once the certificate of need was lifted,
everybody and their mama got hospitals everywhere.
More hospitals flooded the market.
Right. Because
there's the attitude of capitalism and competition is healthy. That's fine. I'm not arguing that point with this story I'm telling right now. What I'm saying is with nimbleness is needed in those moments when the unforeseen happens, because then if we continue to take this lease payment, Lakeland Regional can't necessarily compete anymore.
Correct.
So how do we enhance the quality of life?
Right.
For those that are in need of health care in this community? Well, we got to get rid of that certificate. I mean, we got to get rid of that lease.
Yeah.
And so then you strike the deal with that they struck, and they upfronted a bunch of money, got from up under the lease. There's some cash. There's some ability to manipulate that and get some gains off of that internally or whatnot. Nimbleness in any organization is healthy, but also in government entities as well.
Yeah. We don't want to be too nimble, though. I think there's a reason why bureaucracy moves slow.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Nimbleness from the standpoint of we don't always know what's ahead. Mm-hmm. And if we're over leveraged in a position that we can't get out of, it doesn't help us at that point.
Right.
So that's my how I think about services that are provided and being cautious in what is being taken on.
So
probably went way too long in answering that question.
But if I can understand it, it's like you need to have the ability to have an exit strategy.
Exit strategy. Perfect word.
Yeah. Well, that's very important right now. Having the ability to be able to be in and out of whatever market we're in, because it's a very unpredictable future, holistically, macroeconomically, where we're going. So I agree with that. That is important to have that ability, and also not to make it too easy. Whereas that decision, and from my perspective, can be influence from one very powerful person.
Sure.
Very politically motivated and financially endowed person. However, it's the representation of the voices of the people. And it really suits the needs of the people.
Yeah.
I think that in conjunction is very important.
Yep. I mean, if there is something in your household, I don't know, budget that is just draining money.
Right.
And you can't get rid of that thing.
Yeah.
It just becomes a weight.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But if you got the ability to get rid of that thing,
and you can move on, cut ties with it.
Cut ties.
And move forward.
Move forward, save some money, reallocate those dollars.
Right.
Same kind of thinking. But of course, again, well stated, you don't want whatever this thing is, you don't want this thing, this asset to just be gone tomorrow, right? There's definitely a process that has to be pursued.
Anything you want to lead the people that they should know about leading into November 4th? Anything you want to?
Yeah, November 4th, Election Day, off-year Election Day. Turnout will be low. Normally is low.
Which is why it's important that we do this type of content, because we really need turnout, right? Because this is an unusual time to have high turnout for voters.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about what it means to be a citizen, one of the things that is very distinctive as a citizen is the ability to participate in the process of voting.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of things that are unavailable to someone that is not a quote unquote citizen. But one of the things that is distinctively the privilege of the citizen is to vote.
Yeah.
And so that's why it's not because we believe that voting, or I believe that voting is the end all be all.
Yeah.
There's a lot of faith in the world, but the faith I follow is the faith of the Christian faith.
Yeah.
And I know, I'm convicted with this point that through Christ's dissension in the form of man, from God and taking on the form of man, dwelling among us, sharing in our burdens, becoming a perfect sacrifice, being placed on a lowly, humiliating crucifixion, going down to hell, defeating Satan, returning to his rightful place, gives me all hope and all security in the world. That for me is the end all be all. Right? It's not saying that's what voting is, but it is a privilege that is only for citizens. So exercise it. Having said that, I've had so many people tell me, Ashley, well, I can't vote for you. I'm glad that you're running, but I can't vote for you because I don't live in your district. This is not, our charter is not set up to have single member district voting.
Yeah. Citywide.
It's citywide voting. So if you live in the city limits of Lakeland, you will have my name on your ballot.
Where can people go to vote?
You can go to your polling location on the 4th of November from between 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. If you don't know your polling location, go to polkelections.org. It's either polkelections.org or it's polkelections.com. It'll allow you to put your address in there, precinct lookup, put your address in there. It will populate what your precinct is or where your precinct is. There's 27 of them here in Lakeland.
27 precincts.
27. You can find it in this issue of the Lakelander magazine on page, let's see what page that might be. I won't bore you with flipping through this thing, but it's inside of this magazine. Here it is. Page 95 lists all the 27 precincts. It also lists the one early voting precinct here, which is the courthouse on Parker Street, that you can vote up until Friday, the 31st. All of them are listed in that magazine or polkelections.org to figure out which one of those is your location. And also, if you ordered a mail-in ballot and you got it sitting around the house like I do, turn it in. You still have time for it to make it to the elections office by next week. There's an opportunity to participate in the process. Participate in it.
Ashley Troutman.
Sure, you're right. Daryl Ash.
Been a pleasure, my brother. Hey, y'all heard it. It's the man with the plan. Y'all go vote for him between now and October 31st and then November 4th. Head to your local precinct and let's make it happen. Lakeland, show up and show out.
Let's do it.
Thank you guys for tuning in.